Hey everyone, John here, solo episode. I wanted to talk about something that I've been seeing a lot lately in my executive coaching work, right? And it shows up in every industry I work in, whether that's healthcare, construction, finance, tech, military. It doesn't matter. And what that thing is it's that mask. It's the mask. And I think you'll recognize what I'm talking about here. It's that version of yourself you put on when you walk into a meeting, when you step in front of your team, when you sit across from your boss. It's the version that says all that right stuff, the right leadership things. It hits all those right notes and has all the right answers. And when I say right, it's quote unquote right. The problem is that it's not you. And come on, man, like everyone knows it. Everyone knows it's not you and they can feel it. That all said, before we go any further, if what I'm about to talk about resonates, Will and we built a course, a new mindfulness and meditation course that's going to help you to be more aware, more present, and it ties directly into taking this mask off. And this course is called Awareness to Action, or A2A. And the course is going to walk you through over 12 modules. It's going to be work over 12 modules. And we started the course, or we will start the course May 27th. So next week. And it's going to be a rolling sign up, but we'd love to have you join us for our webinar that same day, where we'll be sharing a code only for webinar attendees or for those who signed up for the webinar and get the recording afterwards. That code will be good for 48 hours from when the course starts for 40% off. That's 40% off. And you can find out more about that, the webinar, the course. If you text MTM, so the letters MTM to 33777, you can find out more about that course and everything else we've got going on. Find out about the webinar, or you can just click the notes, the link in the show notes. All right, let's get back to what I'm here to talk about. So I'll be working with a leader, and we'll be sitting across from one another in this coaching session. And like I mentioned before, your people can feel it. Well, I can feel it the moment that these people walk in, these executives, these clients of mine. And I'm not knocking them. It's completely natural. We all do it. But you can feel that the energy is off. They're carrying something heavy, but they're trying to act like everything is just dialed in, right? And I don't know. I want to call it leadership theater, y'all. And that leadership theater, where you're putting on an act, it's exhausting. It's exhausting for you, and it's exhausting for those around you. And the people doing this, they're not bad people, right? I'm not judging them. Again, I said it's natural. I've done it, and there's times I still do it. Hell, I do it as a dad sometimes. I certainly don't have it together as a dad, but I like to act like I do. My family knows that I don't. But anyway, these people, most of them are good people who genuinely want to be good leaders, and they want to be liked. They want to be appreciated. They want to be seen as competent, and they want their teams to trust them. But underneath that mask or that armor, and you don't even have to dig that deep to find it, there's this layer of fear, imposter syndrome, the feeling that they don't belong in the chair that they're sitting in, that if people saw who they really were or really are, they would lose respect that they've worked so hard to earn. So then they perform, they put on this show, they suit up in armor every morning and walk into the office ready for battle. So that costs you. And here's what that costs you. Here's what wearing that mask or that shield, carrying that shield or wearing that suit of armor cost you. First, it costs you connection. Your people are craving authenticity. They want to connect. They want to follow a real human being, not some polished freaking avatar, not some fake, shiny, perfect, again, avatar, right? When you're performing, they feel it and they hold back. They stop bringing you problems. They start bringing you, or rather, they start being fake with you. They stop being honest with you. Your relationship at work is shallow. All those relationships. Second, it costs you energy, right? Wearing that heavy armor, putting on that show, it's heavy work. You're managing two channels at once: the actual job and the performing of doing the job, the performance of doing the job. And by the time you get home, you got nothing left, which leads to the third cost. It costs you and your family. You walk in the door and you're done. You're tired. Your kids want your attention. Your partner wants to connect. And you've spent every ounce of yourself maintaining this character that you don't even like that much. So the mask wears, the mask you're wearing, wears you down. And then it wrecks you at home. And the worst part is the show that you put on didn't even work. People could feel that gap between who you are and who you're trying to be. They could feel that gap the whole time. So here's the good part. When a leader finally does recognize that they're carrying this armor, wearing this armor, carrying this shield, wearing this mask, whatever you want to say, and I've watched this happen in coaching sessions, in workshops, in conversations after talks. It's like watching someone set down a 60-pound rucksack that they've been carrying around for years. And there's a moment of fear because, if you take off armor, you might get seen for who you actually are, right? If you can imagine somebody actually dropping armor and being out there on a battlefield, that's scary. That's vulnerable. But then there's this sense of relief because that armor is so heavy and that relief is bigger than the fear. And here's what happens next. People around them, they start dropping their armor because authenticity it's contagious. And when a leader shows up real, then the team starts to show up real and the conversations gain some depth. The problems get surfaced earlier and then trust compounds. And that culture spreads up the chain too. The leaders' bosses see somebody being honest about what they know and don't know. So the leader's bosses, right? The bosses of the leader, they start to see someone being honest about what they know and don't know. And then they trust that person more, not less, because everything coming out of that person is true. And this is, to me, what I feel true, real leadership looks like. The kind that builds a culture built on trust and a culture that lasts. And I want to be clear here that, this shift isn't something that happens immediately, right? You can start to see it happening almost immediately when someone does start to drop that mask, but the shift itself takes time. And it's not the kind of thing you read about on Wednesday and pull off on Thursday. It's slow, it's hard, it takes confidence you might not have yet. And it takes intrinsic work where you have to sit with yourself and ask hard questions. And it also takes external work where you practice being more real in small moments with real people, right? It takes contemplative work too. This quiet time that Will and I are always talking about, journaling, meditation, walks where you don't have a podcast in your ears, unless of course it's this one, right? But you got to have space for the thoughts to surface that, you've these thoughts that you've been out running, allowing them to surface. And then it takes discipline because the mask is a habit and breaking it takes time. And it takes the same kind of repetition that built this mask in the first place. So if you're listening to this and any of it landed, here's where to start. I want to give you some tools that I've given some of my clients, many of my clients that can help. So sit down alone, somewhere quiet, no phone, no music, and get a notebook, an actual notebook that you're writing in with pen or paper, and write your answers to these 5 questions and be honest, because nobody's going to be reading this but you, ideally anyway. So, first question is, when you're alone without anyone watching you, who are you? Who are you really? So, first question again, when you're alone without anyone watching you, who are you really? Second question, what would your team say about you if they knew you couldn't hear them? I mean, honestly, what are they saying about you? What do you think they're saying about you if they know that you can't hear them? So, second question again, what would your team say about you if they knew you couldn't hear them? Third question, do you actually want the role you're in, or are you just staying in it because it feels safe? Do you actually want the role you're in, or are you staying in it because it feels safe? Question number 4, what are you most afraid people will discover about you if they see behind the mask, if they see the real you? What are you most afraid people will discover about you if they see the real you? Question 5, what would change in your leadership if you stopped trying to be what you think a leader should look like? What would change in your leadership if you stopped trying to be what you think a leader should look like? Sit with those questions and don't answer it right away. Maybe answer them and come back. Take as long as you need. Take a week if you need it, a month, heck. The point isn't to just sit there and journal once and then be done. The point is to start, a conversation, a dialogue with yourself that you've been avoiding. And then once you've done that work, once you feel you're comfortable with having done that work, here's how to start moving forward. Pick one small thing that you usually fake. Maybe it's, pretending you know something that you don't. Maybe it's pretending you're fine when you're not. Pick one thing, and in one safe moment with someone that you trust, with one person, stop faking it. Stop faking it. Notice the moments when you feel the mask going on. You'll start to feel it. There's this little tightening, right? You feel a shift in your voice. Heck, even when I start recording, I do this. And I try to be as authentic as I can on the show, but there's definitely a mask that I'm wearing. And it's pretty thin. You can see through it. You can see who I am behind it, but you can feel this shift happening. It might be that shift in your voice or an adjustment in your posture. Just notice it. You don't have to drop the mask in that moment. Just see it happening. I think you're aware that it's happening already. And then the third thing, when you mess up or you don't know something, try this. Lead with this. Say, guys, I don't have all the answers here, and I need your input. I had a Buds, a SEAL training instructor, tell me once, never apologize to your people and always have the answers. You want to be that person that always has the answers. And that was, to me, some of the worst advice I ever received in my career. I think you need to be brave enough and authentic enough and vulnerable enough to say, one, that I'm sorry if you screw up, and then two, that you do not have the answers. And that sentence, that I don't have all the answers, that single sentence does more for your leadership than any polished, stupid talking points. It tells your team that you're real. It tells them that you can be trusted and that they are trusted. And it tells them you're strong enough to ask for help. Okay, so the version of you that's performing all day, think about that person. Think about that version. Think about how heavy that mask is, that armor, that shield. That version is tired of performing all day. And the team can feel it, your family can feel it, and you can definitely, obviously, feel it. And you don't have to keep doing it. As a matter of fact, it's better if you don't. The real you is a better leader than the performance ever was. Your people are waiting for that authentic leader. They're waiting to meet the real you. So this week or whenever it is that you decide, after sitting down, doing some journaling, that deep introspective, uncomfortable work, give them a chance to meet you, the real you. All right. That's all I have for this one. If this hit, share it. Share it with the leader in your life who needs to hear it. And as always, give us a like, a subscribe, a review. Check out everything that we have going on for the show. Check us out on Substack and everywhere else on social media. Text MTM to 33777 or hit that link in the show notes to find out more about what we're doing. Thanks all. Talk soon.